a moment. All right. Well, welcome everyone. I am John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. I'm streaming to you live from Montclair State University. I'm actually in University Hall. I was actually looking to be outside today, but unfortunately, all the courtyards seem to be blocked. Not really sure why that is. But anyway, just wanted to let you know that trying to give you different places from, where I will be broadcasting from. So welcome to everyone. Great to have you here with me. Today is March 22nd, 2025. I know the lighting is a little low here. I didn't bring my lights with me. I was hoping they would have lights on, but unfortunately, they have very minimal lights, and their switches are locked. Anyway, we'll have a great show anyway. So if you guys want to go grab something from your kitchen, feel free to do that. Maybe something hot, something cold, something sweet, something tart. Doesn't really matter to me. But go ahead and do that. Maybe even some water. Again, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's a pleasure to be with you. And our brand new master topic for the week is respecting sacred spaces, honoring what matters. And we are on series 4, by the way, and this is show number 13. So today's granular topic is a really good one: respecting sacred spaces, honoring what matters. This is series 13, and this is episode number 1. Thanks for the request to join to co-host, but I don't co-host while I'm actually doing a show live on 10 other platforms, so I have to decline that. I will take you up on the offer later on, but just not at the moment. And we'll get our friends joining from Instagram here as well, and all our other platforms. So it is really, really great to be with you guys here on Inspirations for Your Life. We are in a live area here, and we're in a pretty quiet place. Hopefully I'm not disturbed. I can't promise that, but hopefully. I mean, it seems pretty quiet on a Saturday afternoon. Not too many people are studying or doing anything. But anyway, I'm your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm not only a podcast host, but I'm also a podcast coach. And it is my privilege and pleasure to be with you guys here today on Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. And this is going to be a great show. And do check out believemeachieve.com, ladies and gentlemen, for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations. Of course, you can check that out 24/7, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, 24/7, you can actually check that out. You're not going to want to miss it. I know some of our people here in, I believe, in Instagram will be joining us soon, for those of you that are watching the live stream there. But we stream every single day. Again, I'm going to be doing more stuff outside for those of you that are wanting. I was actually going to go to this diner, which was closed on campus, and stream from there. But the problem was it was very windy outside, and I didn't want to have the flak on my microphone. And I didn't really bring a whole bunch of mic kits. And I do like to stream outside. So welcome, everyone. Respect is a universal language, in case you didn't know. And nowhere is it more vital than in the sacred spaces that hold deep meaning for individuals, cultures, and, of course, communities. Whether it's a historical landmark, a place of worship, or a personal sanctuary, these spaces carry significance that deserves acknowledgement and care. Today, I'm diving deep into the importance of basically respecting sacred spaces, why it matters, how we can do better, and the lasting impact of our actions. So a lot of people don't realize that our actions are extremely, extremely powerful. And I say this to you guys because I think sometimes, we get caught in a web, right? That can happen to us. Just moving this over here so it's a little easier to see you guys. So again, please join me today as I explore the ways that we can honor these great spaces, preserve their integrity, and foster a culture of understanding and mindfulness. Whether you're visiting a revered site, entering a place of reflection, or perhaps entering a place that's very special to you, the importance of personal boundaries and these principles will help us all become more respectful and conscious individuals. So if you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, I know I am, let's go ahead and get started, because this is going to be an amazing show and a great week. All right. So honoring boundaries is number one. In shared and personal spaces, boundaries exist for a reason, whether they're physical, cultural, or emotional. When we step into spaces that hold significance for others, we must be mindful of, where we are and what is expected of us. Just like today when I'm streaming, I tried to find a place that wasn't going to be in the way of other people. So I found one here that was pretty isolated and no one else was here and the lights were kind of off. Personal sanctuaries, doesn't have to be religious sites. Communal places, gathering spots have unspoken rules that protect their purpose and those who cherish them. Taking a moment to recognize and respect those boundaries shows not only courtesy, but also a deeper appreciation for the significance they hold. Again, we might get some interference here because we are in a public place. We might get people talking in the hallways or something. Unfortunately, I can't, this is not a studio, but we do make the best that we can with it. Number three, ladies and gentlemen, and that is show mindfulness in places of reflection and remembrance. There are places in the world designed for deep reflection, like lots of places, from cemeteries to war memorials to places of mourning, like 9/11 sites and things like that. There's even places where maybe people have passed away and they've put specific flowers or some monuments like on a road or things like that. And these sites are often filled with raw emotions, serving as spaces where people come together to remember, to grieve, and find solace. Being mindful in these areas means lowering our voices, refraining from disruptive behavior, and giving others the space they need. Our presence in these places should add the serenity, not take away from it. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize, that we have to take that into account. If we don't take that into account, we can have all kinds of challenges. And, it's not that we want to have these challenges, but, they happen, right? They definitely do happen. All right. I really love this topic this week. Number four, avoid disruptive behavior in designated sacred spaces. Every sacred space has an atmosphere that contributes to its meaning, whether it's the quiet reverence of a temple, the solemnity of a historical monument, or the peace of a meditation garden. Loud voices, inappropriate actions, and even careless attitudes can shatter the experience, and for not just you, but for others, and show a lack of let's say, disrespectful and non understanding. Respecting the intended use of a space means adjusting our behavior accordingly, allowing these locations to maintain their sanctity. Today, I'm even speaking a little bit quieter than I normally do because I am in kind of a public space. And again, I want to be respectful of that. Number five, ladies and gentlemen, that is seek permission before entering restricted or private spaces. So the space is actually on a public campus, Montclair State University, and I looked to see that no one else was in the room or doing anything. Again, I was looking for a place outside, but I could not find one there. Not all sacred spaces are open to the public, and I think that's a very important thing that most people don't get, is that you have to respect that. Not all sacred spaces are open to the public, and even within accessible areas, certain parts may be off limits. Gaining entry to these areas should never be assumed. It's a privilege, it's not a right. Seeking a permission before stepping into a private or restricted space demonstrates respect for the guardians of the places and their traditions. When in doubt, always ask, follow posted signs, and never assume entry is granted just because a door is open. Number six, you should preserve the integrity of natural and spiritual environments. You see, some sacred spaces exist in nature. Those are mountaintops, those could be waterfalls, they could be forests, caves, and even things like oceans that hold spiritual or cultural importance to one or many. These environments are often fragile, both ecologically and symbolically. Leaving no trace, refraining from littering, of course, and avoiding unnecessary disturbances are crucial in maintaining the purity of these spaces. If a place holds meaning for others, our presence should honor its essence and not diminish it. I can't tell you how many times I had been in school and, people didn't mean to diminish the respect of it, but they just did because they didn't think. And I know what you're saying. I know you're saying, John, like, this sounds really interesting. And to be honest with you, it really does. It sounds extremely interesting. So be aware of traditions and customs tied to sacred places. Sacred spaces are often governed by customs that may not be familiar to outsiders, but that doesn't make them any less important, whether it's removing your shoes before entering, dressing modestly, or following a particular ritual before stepping inside. These traditions deserve our full respect. Taking the time to learn about and observe these customs ensure we engage with these spaces in a way that not only aligns with our values and morals and purpose, but in a way that's going to make us appreciate the space and allow other people to appreciate the space. And I think that's something that's oftentimes missing, right? Number four, ladies and gentlemen, this is another one of my favorites. Treat all spaces with care, whether physical or symbolic. Respecting sacred spaces isn't just about physical locations, it's also about honoring symbolic spaces, a meaningful conversation, a deeply personal moment, or even a virtual community centered on shared beliefs. All deserve the same level of reverence. Being mindful of how we engage with these spaces, whether through our words, actions, or attitudes, reinforces the importance of respect in every aspect of our lives. And I know what you're saying. I know you're saying, well, John, this, of course, if there's a space, I can use it. Yes, you can, but I want to encourage you to smell the roses while being respectful at the same time. Maybe you've gone to a friend's home, right? And maybe you're concerned about being very respectful there, like taking off your shoes or just making sure that you don't make a mess or anything. But then that person comes to your house and then they make a mess, and you're like, "Well, does your mother let you do that here? Does she let you do that at home?" It's like, no. Well, then why are you doing it here? Well, because she's not here. And that's a sign of disrespect, right? So we want to respect each other mutually. Number nine, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to educate yourself on the importance of sacred locations. Understanding leads to appreciation before visiting a sacred site. Take the time to educate yourself on its history, significance, and the proper etiquette expected of visitors. Learning about these spaces um, actually and the places that exist not only enriches your experience, but also helps preserve their legacy. Being informed allows you to share knowledge with others, fostering a greater culture of respect for these treasured spaces. Um, Number 10, foster respect. And at the heart of it, remember sacred spaces. It's the ability to honor and to acknowledge diverse beliefs, traditions, and values. Even if they differ from your own, respect them. What may not be significant to one person can hold immense meaning for another. Maybe, like myself, you're religious or maybe you're not, but that doesn't mean you should be disrespectful to a church or to an altar. Very important. Fostering a mindset of open mindedness and appreciation creates a world where all people feel seen, valued, and respected in the places that matter to them. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about sacred spaces. So I think the important thing about sacred spaces that I'd like to say is, what is it, ladies and gentlemen, that makes a space sacred? Is it religion? Not necessarily. But if I had to ask you that, at what makes a space special, or I'm going to say sacred? It could be something as innocent as maybe where you practice. That could be a sacred area. Um, a space becomes sacred or special based on its meaning, its purpose, and the energy it holds for individuals or a community. So you might know that you get a certain gift and that feels sacred or feels special to you. Number one, it has an intent and a purpose. See, a space that becomes sacred when it's intentionally set apart from specific purposes, whether it's for meditation, reflection, creativity, or gathering with like minded individuals, or even studying. I find it's really important to me to find spaces that are going to welcome me to study. I think that's a very important thing. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, emotional and spiritual connection. Spaces that evoke strong emotions or senses of peace, reverence, or inspiration naturally feel special. This could be a place where significant events have happened, where people feel safe and uplifted, or where personal growth occurs. Rituals and traditions, whether it's religious, cultural, or personal, Could be something about sports. Infuse a space with meaning over time, and it will start to make you understand what special is. A space is used consistently for prayer, for meditation, storytelling, bonding. Maybe it's hanging out with your friends. Maybe it's studying. And it'll become more like that in the future. For example, one of those spaces here at the university is certain study rooms at the library that I like. Today they close at 5 o'clock, which is why I didn't go over there tonight, because if I started broadcasting around, let's say 4:15, they would be making these announcements every 5 or 10 minutes. And I thought that would be a little disruptive for our broadcast. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be something that's important. And that is understanding design and the atmosphere. Design and the atmosphere. So the way a space is designed influences how its experiences come to you. Elements like lighting, colors, natural materials, and symbols can create a serene, powerful, or an inviting ambiance. But it's not just that, okay? It could be a lot more than that. And I think these are things that you'll start to appreciate over time. Now, energy and presence is another one. Many will believe that space absorbs energy. I do, being a Reiki level 2 master, of those who occupy it. A space where people have gathered with love, with gratitude, and positive intentions often carries a different feel than one filled with negativity or neglect. When I broadcast from my studio, it's different from broadcasting remotely. Why? Because different spaces have different meanings to me. One of my dreams is to build my own personal studio that'll have even more memories with it. But right now, I just use a couple studios that I have. So that's something. So being able to stream on the road, I got to tell you guys, that is so very, very powerful. All right. So number 6, natural elements. So spaces that integrate nature, sunlight, plants, water, or open air often feel more connected to something greater than ourselves, adding a sacred quality. For example, where I am right now, there are windows, okay? If you guys can see the windows, but anyway, there are windows here, a really nice panoramic thing of windows. There's some nice lights here. Unfortunately, the other lights that are supposed to be on are turned off right now, and there's no custodians or janitors around to even ask, because all the light switches are off. Personal meaning. Personal meaning. So what makes a space sacred is deeply having that connection to be personal, right? To be personal. What makes a space is deeply personal. It might be a child at home, a quiet reading nook, a church, a mountain peak, or even a corner of a room where someone feels most at peace. A sacred space isn't always a grand temple or a church. It can be as simple as a favorite bench in a park or a dedicated space in your home. What matters most is the significance it holds for those who experience it. And right now I'm in this they call it it's kind of like an atrium, which is like a long atrium, and there's maybe about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 8 tables, and it's nicely carpeted, and there are no doors. Everything's just open. They've taken the doors off, so it gives you this very openness. And when I look outside, I see School of Nursing, I see the graduate school, I see another, the art school I see over there, and I think and I'm going to be doing more of this, when I can broadcast outside, or I can broadcast at different venues that allow me to, I think that's going to cultivate something different, not just for the podcast, but for me as a podcast host, for my guests, and also for you as my viewers and my faithful listeners. So what I want to talk about is, giving you, let's say, a short example of each of these. All right. So the first one I want to go into is important, and I think as we start to think about this whole concept, right? Maybe it's something that you've done. It could be a place you've gone to. It could be a favorite restaurant, right? It could be even something as special as, like, I have a ring on my finger, right? And that has special value to me. It was the ring I got from my college, University of Hartford. Here at Montclair State University, I'll probably get another ring before I get my master's, or right around that time, because I'm also planning to get my PhD here. So number 1 is intent and purpose. Intend purpose like a meditation room. Maybe it's filled with cushions, soft lighting designed for daily reflection and inner peace. There's one great space that I love here at Montclair State University, and that is this room. They call it a neurodivergence room. Without getting into all that, I'm not neurodivergent, but basically that means you're sensitive to light and sounds. And it's like these beanbag chairs, and they have these yoga mats, and the lights are really special lights that are thin, and they have all the regular ceiling lights off, and then they have headphones, and it's really a cool place to be, and it makes studying special. Okay, I think that's something that's important, not just to me, but I think to everyone who studies. Design and atmosphere. Well, before I get to that one, rituals and traditions. A family dining table where generations have gathered for holiday meals, maybe sharing laughter and stories. Maybe the fact that the punch bowl comes out every year. I know we always had that tradition where, we make the punch, but it has to be in great grandma's punch bowl because it wouldn't be the same. Design and atmosphere. A Japanese Zen garden with carefully placed stones, a koi pond, and a bamboo fountain that creates a sense of harmony. Or energy and presence, an old library with sense of books where scholars and writers have spent years absorbing and sharing knowledge. So these are just a few, all right? But when we start to embrace the concept, I think it's pretty amazing, all right? Um, maybe you have some places that you can think of, and it could be something as simple as a pathway, a walkway you take. Maybe it's a certain beach that you like to go. Maybe that beach is specialty because you met somebody there. Maybe there's a certain pair of shoes. I know some sports people have really, let's say, very particular. Let's say interest in the fact that they have to wear their lucky shirt, they have to wear their lucky undergarments, they have to wear their lucky sneakers, they have to wear their lucky socks. I mean, um, it's okay to have these things, but I think it's important to know that that's not what shapes you. You can always find another one and you can always put more memories into them. But when you cultivate something like a park bench or, you create something that has memories not for just for you, but for others, I think that is really a lot about what life is about. All right. That's a lot what life is about. And again, a space becomes special, ladies and gentlemen, or sacred when we realize that it's not simply because of only its physical characteristics. Okay. It's because of the meaning, the energy, and experiences that are infused into it, whether it's a quiet meditation corner, a family gathering place, or a breathtaking natural landscape. These spaces provide a sense of connection, whether it's to oneself, whether it's to others, or to something greater. Over time, rituals will form, emotions will build, and intentions will get deeper, and the connection to you and to others will grow, turning an ordinary space or location into a sanctuary of significance. We've all seen this happen a lot with 9/11, but it doesn't just have to happen there. You can make this happen in a lot of great places in your life, right? Really great places. So, what makes a space truly sacred is how it makes us feel. It might be a place of peace where the mind can rest, a site of inspiration where creative flowers, or a communal space where relationships are nurtured. The power of a sacred space lies in its ability to hold memories, energy, and purpose. It's not just about grandeur, material beauty, but rather about the personal, collective meaning it holds. Like, for example, when I go to different places on campus, like Freeman's public room, or Denali's public room, or Sinatra's, or any of the others, when I have a great experience there and I go back again, it's like, it feels nostalgic, right? It feels kind of amazing. And it's like, I know that I want more of that feeling. And so that's what kind of leads me going back to certain places to study there. So you have a reason why you do stuff, okay? You have a reason why you do stuff. And so you may not find this overnight. You might take years to find this. It just depends. But I think the most important thing is that when it starts to resonate with you, you connect with it, you appreciate it, you share it, you make a story about it. And just literally coming back to college has not only opened so many pathways, but also into the education realm, but also into places like the fact that, you know, new opportunities and new ways of thinking about myself and others, and even thinking about spaces. Like, even though I could have done this show anywhere, right? But doing it here at the college and doing it while looking at, the beautiful gardens outside, and looking at the beautiful landscape and even the lights outside, and just observing the lights here, and even the fact that I'm in a room that is very, very quiet right now. And I think it's important to realize these things, because when we realize them, we start to understand. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? All right. So has anybody here ever had a sacred space? What is it? Comment, let me know. Of course, tag me back. You can go to Believe Me Achieve. I love to hear your stories. I love to share mine, but I love to hear your stories. I love to hear your stories. That's important to me. And so, um, I think where I want to go with this is, a sacred space is more than just a location. It's a feeling, it's experience, it's a reflection of the energy we bring into it. These spaces can be grand or simple, shared or personal, but what unites them is their ability to ground us, inspire us, and offer a sense of belonging, whether it's a room designated for meditation, childhood retreats, brotherly gatherings, places that are, let's say, with history, generational places and traditions. Sacred spaces hold the power to evoke emotions and memories that will shape our lives. That's just so, that's so amazing to me. Okay, so amazing. And you can start doing this right now. You could start doing this literally right now. And I think that's an important thing. What makes a space truly special, again, is not its physical design. I think that's the most important thing that I want to share with you. It's not its physical design. It's a lot more than that. Um, it's the energy, and it's how we share ourselves, how we show up, how other people show up, how we get inspired, how we feel, whether the room's designed for a variety of things. We can start making this change immediately today. Recognizing and cultivating sacred spaces is in our lives, allowing us to be more mindful. Okay, and noticing our environments that bring us peace, clarity, and joy. These spaces serve as reminders that in the fast paced world and how fast we are, it's always about understanding the place for stillness and a connection, whether intentionally created or discovered over time. Sacred spaces are the reflection of what we value, offering us a refuge to recharge, reflect, and grow. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, a pleasure, and honor to be with you guys on these amazing mornings, days, evenings. I'll catch you guys real soon. Do check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations.